we went and saw The Fall Guy. Let's talk about The Fall Guy. That
did.
consider that our reaction, and that'll make the publicists happy. We're reacting, earning our way. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I really did. I came out of it thinking, yes, it was good. I enjoyed it, but the more it sits with me, the more I like it. It's to me, it's the reason we go to the movies in the first place. It's just pure escapism, heaps of fun.
It was that there are a couple of little things that I not that I didn't like about it. I'm very happy that they admitted that they are in Sydney.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to pass it off as LA or
Yeah.
anything like that, because it is like when you watch it, you're like,
Adds legitimacy,
this
though.
is so
Adds
an Australian
legitimacy, doesn't
city.
it? Like it
Yeah.
made Sydney look really good too.
Although they pretend that first stunt with that gives him his injury right at the beginning of the film, that they pretended was somewhere else, and I'm like, that actually looks like
Yeah, but who else
Spencer
is-
Street Station.
who else is
Or,
gonna
sorry,
know?
What's it? It's not Spencer Street anymore. What's it called?
the Southern Cross.
Southern Cross Station.
No, but who's going to know elsewhere? Like
Oh yeah, no,
I
but
always-
it took me right out of Mr. Nice Guy, the Jackie Chan film,
I
when
know.
they.
But I think this all the time, and I'm sure we've had this chat where you watch a local film. Like the perfect example was Killer Elite with De Niro and whatever Clive Owen,
Statham.
and it begins in the Yarra Valley, and then the next minute they're in the city. And it's
Yeah.
like we know the geography, but no one else does, and that must apply to every movie ever made. Whoever lived where it was done.
That's what always makes me think about whenever they shoot in Canada.
Yeah.
When they're shooting in Vancouver, and you're like, the people from Vancouver must hate.
Well, I know Vancouver well, and therefore I remember watching movies going, hang on, come on.
Yeah, that's not where that is. That's not how that goes. That's like Mr. Nice Guy was the first one I ever noticed it
Yeah.
with, and I'm kind of glad that Jackie Chan never really shot another movie out here.
Well,
He was
did.
always
He
talking
did
about
First
moving
Strike.
here.
He did First Strike.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that Bleeding Steel, he did that in Sydney, where he scaled the Sydney Opera House.
Yeah,
That
right.
was a terrible movie. So terrible that it's worth a look.
I'm glad that we're not talking about Jackie Chan on social media, because I obviously don't know too much about his
Anyway,
movies.
The Fall Guy.
The Fall, but so I'm glad that they acknowledged where they were.
Yes.
My only thing with it was, and like you, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
My only thing was, and I was thinking about this while we were watching it, and I'm saying, I was thinking, what separates this from Die Hard, which is like a perennial classic, but would kind of be in the same vein, is that Die Hard has a lot more serious moments.
Yes.
Whereas this is pure light
Yeah,
entertainment.
this leans into the comedy in a very
Yeah.
hard way, which it's kind of doing what, say you not to the same extremities, but did what Baywatch did. It turned it into a comedy. A lot of these TV to movie adaptations have done that. 21 Jump
Yeah.
Street, but this doesn't quite go that far because there's still
Yeah, it's not as far as 21 Jump Street.
no, because it's not slapstick so much, like and parody.
Look, and it is nice because everyone in it is just a bit older.
Yeah,
They're not, they're not. I mean, and that is the joke of 21 Jump Street is that they're clearly in their late 20s, early 30s, going undercover in high school,
yeah,
which is pretty funny.
that's right. But that's right.
Whereas,
that was a real.
I mean, this
parody.
one is there. By any stretch of the word, I would say that Ryan Gosling, you would think he's almost too old to actually be a stuntman now,
Yeah.
because he just break things.
Well, Grant Page was going right through to his 70s.
That is true. He was always willing to set himself on fire.
Yeah, that's right. The older I get, the more simplistically I look at films, and to me, it's that deciding factor is, I thought it was fun. Like
Yeah.
I come out of it going like thoroughly entertained. That's all
Yeah.
that matters to me now. I don't really give a shit about the imperfections.
Yeah, look, I was pretty happy that I didn't check my watch
Yeah,
during the film
No.
or anything like
No.
that. There wasn't a point where I was like, I could nod off now and wake up in 20 minutes
Yeah.
and not have missed anything.
I did find though that some of the pacing was off. I think there were some really great musical sort of sequences with montage of stunt work, but I feel like in the edit they've missed a few beats with the music.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they had to replace certain songs and just couldn't quite make that marriage happen, because I did feel like halfway through, like this is not quite popping the way it probably should with all of the cuts and sound cues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But small bone to pick is irrelevant really. But so much fun, really enjoyed it. What I found interesting though is like the TV show. They've done a Mission Impossible here. The TV show had like a team. It was the Fall Guy and his two assistants or his crew of stunt people.
Well, it was him and Heather Thomas, and then
yeah.
what's her name? Mary's mum from There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
Kind of would also pop up.
So
Who's-
there
why
was
can't I
there was a
remember her name?
team. Like quite often they
Yeah.
all got together. Whereas
Because they were a stunt team.
yes, and I find that interesting that the social commentary at the moment in the world is like diversity and all this, and they've taken the female out of the
Out of the team,
out
yeah.
of the team, and
But
just
they've
made
got
it
the
about
they've got the black guy, the stunt coordinator,
yeah, that's right,
the Huggy Bear character.
Yeah. Look, the dynamics too between Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling was great too. I think
Yeah.
they really gelled very well. Very good cast in there. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really good.
And-
I actually,
and there was an umbilical brother in there. Like I love seeing their faces pop up. I pointed to you in the cinema. I said, "It's an umbilical brother."
yeah, I missed
But I
it.
couldn't
Who
talk too
was it?
loud. He was like, he didn't have any dialogue, but he was the guy that kept coming in like and just adjusting things. He had the long hair.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. That
A
makes a lot of
long-haired
sense.
one,
He
yeah.
would have just, no Foley required.
No, that's right. In fact, he did the whole film.
He did the just him and the other umbilical brother just in the studio just making all the sound effects.